Hang Seng is seeing the largest gain right now. It's up 1.7%, so over 300 points in terms of a gain for the Hong Kong markets.
The company has informed the exchanges of them purchasing Metro Cash and Carry's India business.
This idea that everybody must suddenly start to mask up is, I don't think, completely appropriate.
The bid has come from an ARC along with an investor.
Bank Nifty is up 270 points, so good start for the market, in line with what the SGX was suggesting.
Investing is more about 90% is about the emotion, and your emotion gets tested.
We have a fantastic journey ahead. Wine is growing faster than whiskey.
We had a gap up opening. The Nifty opened above that 18,300 mark, but from that level, it's seen a fall of close to about 200 points.
The Hawks are outnumbering the Doves at this point in time.
A large block deal of almost 4.56% stake was likely to change hands.
Markets still down. There is a mild recovery that we've seen from the lows above that 18,100 mark.
Okay, the last act in the day so far playing out, and I think it's a fresh leg down, 50-60 odd points lower is what we have. You're with us here on a fresh new edition of Closing Bell. With me, my colleagues Rima and Mangalam. Guys, hi, good afternoon. Just take a very quick look at a few things. One is the day so far, right? I mean, just numerically quantifying the volatility we've seen, we got a 118-point move up at the gap. It was not a gap up straight to the day's high, but it was 118 points worth. The initial move higher. The day high was made there. Then you had a 245-point sell-off all the way to the low point of the day at about 18,070 or so. And from there, we've seen a 100-point recovery, which is in the process of being sold into now. Maybe need to add one more point if there's space there by 3:30, but it's just absolutely volatile. Now, I just want to put out a chart. This is the daily Nifty chart, and what you will see is a rising trend line all the way from the lows in June 17th. There's a touch point. Can you see the trend line? I think we can see the trend line. There's a touch point on the 30th of September. And then basically today, the market touched that, broke that intraday by 10 points, and then has bounced off that level. These are simple trend lines, and lots of stocks, not just Nifty, on Market Laser in the mornings, I've been highlighting other stocks as well, which are basically testing exactly this one, the rising trend line from the lows of June. We've seen a test today on the Nifty benchmark as well. So, it's not looking all that great. To add to all of this, the point is we are, at least for the last 5 or 6 sessions, been making lower lows. Every low, the day is lower than the previous day's low, which is technically a sign of weakness. I want to wrap this up with slightly positive data if I can. The fact is that the market is coming off, but it's not really going all the way, right? It's not a unidirectional kind of move. It's exhausting itself. The move in one direction exhausts itself, and then we go on the reverse side. This is data for the last 6 years, and what basically happens towards the end of the year. Around this time, December 22nd, December 23rd, as you will see on the screen, move higher starts. And this has been true for 6 years now. The data, the gains vary. I mean, the lowest on your screen is 1.6% in 2019, so you could say it's flat, but more often than not, it's higher. And at least over the last 6 years, it's never lower. This is, as I said, beginning around this time, December 20th or so, 21st, 25th, all the way into January 15th, January 20th. This is basically the end of the year moves into the new year. So will we see this is the question. Of course, it's unknowable at this stage, but history does suggest that around this time, the market does see a bit of a bid, whatever the reasons, but it does see a bit of a bid, so we'll watch out for that. Rima, hi. Mangalam, hi.
Hi, we will most definitely watch out for that. They say history rhymes if it does not repeat. So will there be that Santa Claus rally in the next few days or not? But, the thing is that today, we're off lows and off highs. Everything's happening. Like you said, there is a fair amount of choppiness, volatility. The interesting bit is if you just take a look at the line chart of the Nifty, every time there has been even a mild attempt higher, that has been sold more vociferously. And now this time, the recovery from the lows has been strong. So to that extent, the last hour will be crucial to watch. To add to that, we have the weekly options expiry as well. And the VIX has crossed 15. So that means a lot of option writers are waiting for some more choppiness for them to make their money in the last hour of trade. The Nifty Bank, there is clear resistance at the 20-day moving average. Yesterday, it broke below that after holding on to it for a fair amount of time. And now that it's broken on the way up, this will be a bit of a resistance, and that's what the last hour showed as well. For the Nifty, it was behaving, while it was volatile, it was behaving in the range of, both the 50-day moving average at the lower level and the 20-day moving average at the upper level. Now, today as well, intraday lows have seen some recovery, and the Nifty, as we speak, is at the 50-day moving average of 18,144. On the way up, of course, there is a fair amount of resistance. So I think if you had to narrow that range further, or rather, give some more color to that range, in terms of point to point, yesterday's high of 18,463 and today's low of 18,069 is something that we will monitor in times to come, at least in the next few days. As far as options action is concerned, 18,200 and 18,150 call writers are extremely active. They don't believe that the Nifty can go past that 18,200 mark. And at the lower level, now that there has been a recovery, 18,100 put writers, the bulls, have found some support. So out there, we've seen some open interest addition. And the 18,100 put currently, as we speak, has a couple of shares in terms of open interest with a premium of 100 odd rupees. So that's telling you 18,000. The psychological mark has, some protection and some support from the bulls. Rima, what do you have?
Interesting data there, Mangalam as well as Prashant. Let's hope for that Santa Claus rally. It's not come so far. Things are looking a bit uncertain. Right now, there's a fair amount of sell-off that you are seeing in the broader markets. Look at the Nifty Small Cap Index. That's down 1.4%. So although the benchmark indices have recovered and are just down 0.3%, the advanced decline ratio is quite weak. One stock in the green for nearly 6 in the red. So if you look at the NSE picture, we've got nearly 2,500 stocks currently trading in the red. So that's a pretty dismal picture. But let's tell our viewers what we've lined up on closing bell today. Bandhan Bank slips after a planned transfer of bad assets fails to enthuse investors. More details lined up on the show. REC is buzzing in trade in an otherwise weak market. What's gotten the stock excited? Details on the show. And on the back of the recent COVID resurgence, several pharma and diagnostic stocks are in focus. A roundup of all the stocks in focus coming up in just a bit. And we'll talk all things stocks and market with Vaibhav Sanghvi of Avendus Capital Alternate Strategies.
Okay, well, how should you position yourself in the last hour or